Well guys, I did it. I wasn't able to use the other drive that I'd contemplated using. I did a little bit of research and stumbled upon the Fanuc conversion on Centroid. And what's cool about the Fanuc Centroid arrangement is they give you diagram, give you an idea. I had already pulled out the spindle drive out of this machine. I've got this thing wired in using a power supply, jumpers. I used some schematics. I got the original schematics for this OMC controller. I've got everything apart, but as you can see, I'm running about 3,000 RPM right now. Anybody that's looking to do this, just message me up. I have nothing else running on this panel right now, but I do have the RPM meter running. The load meter is not running because none of that's hooked up. The RPM gauge was left hooked up by default. I tapped into the CN1 connector to do my enable and apply my voltage. I'm going to have to put some relays in there for forward and reverse, which the relays back to their 24 volt. I'm probably not going to have enough outputs. I'm probably going to have to build some kind of PIC interface processor or Arduino or something. I'm stepping around the back. Sorry, everything's bouncing around. Now don't laugh, I got a mess back here, but it's working. You look at I'm using the original drive. The original servo drive for this machine. Right now I have what I guess they call the location board is not connected here. I've got like an idiot, I cut all this because I wasn't planning on using it. It just looked like the best solution. There were some other problems with it that were airing out, and there's a switch on the inside. My voltage here was higher than where the machine came from, and I had to switch from 220 to 230, or 200 to 230, 240, whatever it is, and she works fine now. As soon as I did the reset, you can actually watch the RPM up here. It's at 3,000. I'm going to go ahead and vary the power supply down, let it catch up. I'm just doing a 0 to 10. We know if we're at 10, right? I don't know if you can see it or not. I apologize for the camera, but I'm just really excited to have this working. Come up to 5 volts. That should be right around, as soon as it settles out, right around 3,000. And we'll come back up over here and see how close we are. Yeah, we're right around 3,000, 2988 RPM. I am going to have to do some funky stuff to figure out how to pull that back out to send it to my Acorn software. Oh, they call it the Orient board, but I'm going to have to pin all that out and hook it all back up. A little thing that I've learned from research. Now, on the Centroid Acorn, they tell you to pull the A to D chip. I pulled it out, and the machine would not run with it out. So I put it back in, the errors went away. I changed the voltage. I've also jumped out the reset in here. If you can see the jumpers, I've jumped out the reset. You can see down in here. I've cut the wires for the 0 to 10. That was actually a relay, which I thought was kind of strange. And I am in high gear. I'm not quite sure how that works. I'm going to need to do a little bit of research in the schematic, but I'm just stoked. I know it looks really crazy and messy back here, but it's working. I'm like a lot closer than I was a couple hours ago. I got my Allen Bradley drives in there. Those things work like a dream. Be really, really careful if you use those on this machine, because I learned the hard way that it'll send a ball screw into a million little pieces. So I've got a ball screw that has to be replaced because when I was doing the tuning, I was centered, but apparently I put in an extra 0. But anyways, that's where we're at. We all make mistakes, right? I was going to pull the machine apart and replace some of the ball screws anyway, so that one had a little slop in it when I started, so I was planning on replacing it anyhow. It might have been weak already, but just be really careful when you're tuning those Allen Bradleys. That's where it's at. Hopefully the next time I bring you guys back and show this to you, the whole back of this cabinet will be all put back together. I got my Centroid Acorn board up here, which is not hooked up to the 0 to 10 right now. I don't have anything else running on it right now. It's just feeding those ABs, which obviously I've got everything else taken out right now. I've got a relay board that's going to go there, and as I told you in a couple of videos back, on that control cabinet, I'm going to be probably running some other relays off of a PIC to make some other decisions. But I am just so stoked right now. So happy. I am planning on leaving. Let me turn the light on here. And I apologize. I'm in a little space back here. But I am planning on leaving most of this stuff in here that can be reused, as well as the relays. I'm planning on using those 24-volt relays. So, I mean, it's already there. Why reinvent the wheel? Even if I got to control those relays, which I'm sure I'll have to, because the relay control board up here on the Acorn, I believe, is 5 volts. It might be 24. I think it's 5 volt with opto isolators. I'll have to go back and look. But anyways, I'll probably have to use one of those to control one of these relays. But the wire's already down here. Why rewire it? Why rewire it if it's working? So I wanted to go ahead and leave this in there because it's got the spindle orientation for doing rigid tapping. And that was my, you know, ultimately that was my goal. I wanted to be able to do rigid tapping. It's the whole reason I did this machine. But I'm so stoked. You guys have no idea how happy I am. I'm almost ready to go hack the X, Y, and Z servo drive and see if I can do the same thing with it. But thank you so much, Centroid. Guys, if you haven't checked out their website, I'm not getting sponsored by them. I don't have enough subscribers for them to even know who I am. Check out their website. They got so many resources for people. It's insane. Check out their website before you do anything. Thanks, guys, for watching.